Myself, Vahini. Currently, I am working as a GCP security engineer, but I have very 5 years of experience. But currently, my requirement is we have already Jenkins in place. Like we want to replace with the GitHub Actions. For that, we are using the infrastructure as a Terraform. So, using Terraform, we are just replacing Jenkins with GitHub Actions, and we are creating a new modules for our GCP resources. Okay. So basically, my intention is I am looking for the Terraform with GCP and more or less modules, like how to call the modules and how to work with the integration test and all. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Yeah, you there?
Yeah.
Sure.
Hi,
Yes.
Wayne. So,
Yeah. Hi. Sure.
integration testing means like how you are like Terraform. We understand like how we can create the infrastructure and all using in GCP using Terraform. So that I got.
Mm.
So can you explain more on that integration testing?
Integration testing means let's say we have modules inside modules. Like when we are working with the multiple modules, how to call the modules within another module so that the test should work, right? Calling the modules inside the modules.
In Terraform, you're asking the
Yeah, yes, yes.
Terraform
Yeah.
script, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. So, just a minute. Yeah.
Swagat, you're the Terraform which you are consulting is with GCP, right? Not with any other clouds.
No, not with any other cloud.
Yeah,
So
that's
which
perfect.
is GCP.
Yeah. You're looking for something, or can you please explain like what and all the topics you will be covering in the Terraform?
Yeah. I'm just doing that. Just
Yeah, thanks.
share my screen. Sharing. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, particularly in the Terraform on GCP courses with Terraform. So basically, we are going to cover uh, more on the Terraform, like along with the GCP, we'll be
Mm-hmm.
focused more on the Terraform concept. So basically, we'll start with the GCP fundamentals and
Mm-hmm.
what are the basic services of GCP are there, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll start with how we can integrate Terraform with the Google Cloud. So before
Mm-hmm.
that, like we'll start what is Terraform, how we can set up it, the Terraform. So in Terraform, you might already know there are two versions. One is the CLI version, and another one is the Terraform Cloud version.
Yeah.
So we are going to use the CLI version, and also we'll see like if we can do the Terraform Cloud setup as well. But
Yeah.
we'll more focus on the Terraform CLI version, how we can write a script for to create different types of infrastructure in the Google Cloud. So that is what we are going to focus. So
Mm-hmm.
here in this part will be introduction. We'll have the introduction section about the Terraform, how we can use it using Google Cloud, and then all the basics and properties of the Terraform. So before going ahead and applying in the Google Cloud, we'll cover the basics of the Terraform, like what is a Terraform workflow, and what all Terraform commands are there, what more, how you can initialize, how you can create the resources, how you can apply how you can run the Terraform apply command to create the resources, and all other Terraform commands which are there. So we are going to discuss about that. And then how you can see, like when you are creating the Terraform, like you will have the you may need to create for multiple sources, right? You may need to use multiple variables as well, and you may have multiple provider. Not here we are going to use the Google Cloud. Along with Google Cloud, let's say we have another provider, local provider or AWS provider. So those parts we are going to discuss how you can work with multiple providers, how you can specify different types of variable and import those variables in your provider file. So that we
Mm-hmm.
are going to discuss. And also after that we are going to so this was about the Terraform, mainly focusing on the Terraform basics and all. After that, we are going to apply that Terraform on the Google Cloud. So in Google Cloud, there are different types of resources. We have resources for the storage. We have resources for different types of databases, like we have SQL as well and NoSQL databases. We have BigQuery, which is a data warehouse solution in Google Cloud. And similarly, we also have the compute engine resources where you can create basically the virtual machines in Google Cloud. And we have
Mm-hmm.
cloud function. Then we have also the Kubernetes engine and other data processing services are there also in Google Cloud. So you are going to see how we can create all those services using the Terraform, how we can basically connect to the Terraform with GCP, and then how we can create all those resources in the Google Cloud using the Terraform. So we
Mm-hmm.
are going to discuss that along with the labs. Okay. Similarly, after storage, we are going to discuss about the next part, like the networking component, how you can create the VPC, how you can apply the firewall rule also using the Terraform. So those we are going to discuss, and also like how you can use the compute engine, how you can create the compute engine, not only creating the compute engine, even like how you can define the configs of the compute engine virtual machine which you want to create. So that also we are going to discuss. Similarly, we have other resources in Google Cloud, like how you can interact with the cloud run from the Terraform, how you can interact with the cloud function from the Terraform, how you can interact with the BigQuery, PubSub, the database services which I was talking about, the Cloud SQL and the Spanner. Similarly, all the NoSQL databases services. So along with the data processing services are also there. So how we can also use is how we can create those as well using the Terraform. So that we are going to see in this course. Like we are not going to discuss on the how you can use the NoSQL, what is NoSQL, or this architecture of big table, Spanner, pops up. So those things, or BigQuery, those things will not be discussed in this course. It will be more focused on the Terraform, how you can basically create the Terraform config, and how you can create the Google Cloud resources. It will be completely, mostly I can say 70-80% hands-on based. So
Mm-hmm.
like here we are not going to include any theoretical concept of, let's say, BigQuery. I will talk about BigQuery like when I'm talking about, let's say, Terraform resources. This is the BigQuery, this is the dataset project. So those concepts we are going to discuss, but there are lots of things in BigQuery. Those things will may not have the time like to discuss all those things. So it will be more focused on the Terraform.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that is what we have planned. Uh, so that like if someone is going through the course, they need to be strong on the Terraform. We have other courses in Google Cloud, like data engineering courses and all, so where we discuss Google Cloud services along with some part of the Terraform also we cover there as well. But this course will be completely focused on the Terraform starting from the beginning. Like we don't, in that class we don't discuss about the Terraform basics and how to interact with different types of variables or different types of sources. So those things are not part of that course. But in this course we are going to more focus on the Terraform concept, and basically Terraform along with Google Cloud, how we can create the infrastructure in the Google Cloud using the Terraform. So those things we are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have a basic question here, Swagat.
Mhm.
Let's say I have a state file. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, like I have the resources created in GCP and state file and everything. So now I deleted some of the variable, like some of the resources from the console. But when we run the plan, so the state file, there is an inconsistency between the console and the state file, right?
Yeah.
So how do we will match the state file with the, because I have deleted some of the files from like any some resources, because this is a recent scenario which I face. I have deleted like manually from the console, but when I run the Terraform plan, it is showing there is a mismatch inconsistency between the state. There is just need a refresh of the state file. But how can we do that? Like in order to
So
match the resources from like actual Terraform from with the console.
in order to match, like you are showing that you inconsistency in the Terraform state and log file, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for basically you need to like you want to create again the resources or what? See,
Oh yeah,
there are
yeah. No, no. I have
multiple
deleted from the
command there.
console. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular command or how we do the refresh in the background for the Terraform state file.
Yeah, so there is so when you are applying the Terraform plan, we need to like instead of mentioning just Terraform apply, like before applying the Terraform plan, we can just initialize and we can use the log file only for the read-only purposes before running the Terraform apply and before applying the Terraform plan. So we can just use the Terraform, like we can use the log file for the read-only purposes. So there are certain commands like how we can refresh it and based on the scenario, like whether you want to recreate those resources, then you'll have to run from the again initialization plan and apply. If you don't want to recreate those resources, then we can run the Terraform. Like you can use before if you're running the Terraform apply command, so before that, like we can use the Terraform init, and we can there mention specify that the log file is read only purposes. So that will also work.
No, no. Init is for in order to download all the plugins and any changes in that. But I have resource. I have deleted some of the which I have see. I have created TF one file like normal main.tf variables and everything. I have
Uh-huh.
created some of the resources in GCP and which is working fine. But because of some other issue, I need to delete it. But manually, I did it from the console rather going and doing the chain in the main.tf or wherever I'm creating there is. I did not deleted the code block. I just whatever it is created, I deleted from the console. Now, when I again next time run the Terraform plan, so
Mhm.
it always checks the state file to
Correct.
see that the resources are already there, not there, right? That is a state file. But there now I have the resource like when it is checking code wise, it is there, and state file no change. But when it's trying to create the resource is but state file and code wise fine, but resource is not there in the GCP console. That's where I get struck. Okay, I need to do a Terraform refresh for the state file. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't want the resource at all, but that can be like, how do I do using the Terraform commands? Any idea on that?
Like you want to run the Terraform refresh command or
Yeah, yeah. Refresh. I'm not asking refresh, but I want to make sure Terraform, like the file, state file, console, all over, it is like it should be same. No inconsistency
yeah.
should be
So that
maintained.
is like Terraform refresh command which you can run. And if you
I
are running,
tried it actually. I tried it. It did not work because it is not refreshing that. Always plan and refresh. It's showing like there is an inconsistency within the state file. It is showing.
I okay, so I need to check. But see, the refresh command
Mm-hmm.
it will actually refresh the state file. Okay, so
Yeah.
Terraform refresh command, if you'll see, uh,
Mm.
keyword whether it is in present locally or in a remote storage. So both the
Yeah.
files will be refreshed if you are using the Terraform refresh command.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We have the backend like GS bucket only, cloud bucket
yes,
only. But we
yes.
did that, but
Mhm.
still did not work. Mm.
Still didn't what means like what is the issue? Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
The
also
resource.
Mm-hmm.
inconsistency it is showing. Either I have to delete from the code block and make sure like everything should be
Can you
same, or
try Terraform state push once?
okay, we'll try that. Okay, okay. I'm just checking because this is a current scenario which I faced in with the state file. So
Hmm.
yeah, I was just checking on that. Yeah, okay.
So state push, what it will do, like it will restore your backup. It will restore
Okay.
the backup to the remote storage. So you can just try
Mm-hmm.
once that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know one more difference. Like we have variables.tf and TF vars and locals. Like when exactly I can go with the locals and when exactly I can go with the TF vars.
TF bars, like you are asking Terraform locals
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. So we have we have the blocks like variables.tf. Yeah. So the other one is we can you declare the variables in local variables, and the other one is like TF vars, right?
yeah, local is local is simply like you can in your local module you can only access, but TF
Yes,
bar if you are using that is you are declaring it globally. So
globally, right? Yeah.
yeah, so that's there is difference between the scope of access. So one you can
Mm-hmm.
access only in locals, but TFVR you can access globally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah, yeah. You can go ahead with content, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So I have a simple demo because it was just mentioned to me in short notice. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay, fine. So here if you see what we are doing basically, we have a simple, this does not have much config, and we are just using the provider, Google Cloud provider, and we have the provider file, and then the main file we have declared what all resources we are going to create. So here what we are creating two resources. One is the Cloud SQL, Google Cloud SQL database. So
Mm-hmm.
basically the instance we are creating, and then we are creating the Google on that same instance we are creating a user as well. We can also create databases and tables. So
Mm-hmm.
right now we are just creating one cloud instance, and on that instance we are creating the cloud user, we are adding one user. So
Mm-hmm.
for that cloud instance, whenever you are creating the Google Cloud SQL, basically in the Cloud SQL, Google Cloud SQL, it you can create either a MySQL instance, or you can create one. You can create a Postgre, or you can create a SQL Server instance. It supports
Mm-hmm.
these three flavors. So again, in MySQL, there are many versions of MySQL instance you can create. You can create 8.0, which is the latest version. Apart from 8.0, you can also create say 5.7, and there are older versions of MySQL as well. Similarly, you can also create uh, in case of the cloud, in case of the SQL server also, you can create multiple instances. So that version we have specified here. So if I'll go ahead with the create instance, I can see either I can create a MySQL engine or Postgre or SQL Server engine. Right now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to create a MySQL database engine, and I'm going to create the 8.0 version. So that is what I have specified here. And then on the MySQL instance, when you are creating the instance, on which virtual machine you are going to create the instance, because whenever you are creating the MySQL instance, so basically Google will create a virtual machine, and on that virtual machine, it will install that MySQL version, and then you will be able to access that MySQL version. You'll be able to interact with that particular MySQL version. But on which virtual machine, what is the where they have created the virtual machine, those things will not be accessible for a user. So Google Cloud MySQL is a fully managed service. We can define the configuration. Uh, what is the configuration I want to create my instance, but we'll not be able to see like on which virtual machine Google has procured the MySQL instance. So that will not be able to see. And once the instance is created, then we are going to add a user. So by default, the root user will be already added to your instance once the instance is created. Apart from that root user, we are going to add another user. So for that user, I have specified the name and password. And also here, we are referring to the SQL instance. So this is the SQL instance which we are going to use. And then this is my instance name. So that is what I have referred here. This is my reference name. This is my cloud SQL resource on which instance resource on which I'm going to create. I'm going to add this user. And then on the provider file, so basically we are going to specify who is the provider, whether it's a local provider or AWS or Google Cloud. So that we need to specify. So here we have specified my project and region name and along with the credential. So basically it's going to use the service account keys in order to interact with the Google Cloud services. And here, if you see, I have already defined I have already downloaded the keys. This key might have expired. Let me again create the service account keys. So in order to create the service account key, I'll go to IAM. I'll go to the IAM, which is the Access and Management service in Google Cloud. And here, go to the service account. So here I have many service account. I'm going to use this compute engine service account. So there is keys. Let me delete that key. I want to create a new key and I'll be using that key. Make sure that you have already assigned proper roles and the permission to this service account. Otherwise it will not work. So I have already downloaded this service account. So this is how the service account key looks like. It will be having all the details about your project. Okay. And this service account keys I'm going to use in my Terraform while interacting with the Google Cloud. So I'll go to the terminal and I'll try to run the Terraform command on my command prompt. So first of all, I need to initialize the Terraform backends and the plugins. So for that, I need to run the Terraform init command. It is going to initialize the backend and also it will install the Terraform version. So here we are using the 3.85 version. Terraform is basically infrastructure as a code and it is an open source tool. Anyone can use it. There is another version of the Terraform, which is the Terraform Cloud. The Terraform Cloud is the paid version. Terraform is actually developed by the HashiCorp, and the scripting language which we are going to use for the Terraform is the HashiCorp configuration language. That is what we are calling it as the SCL language or SCL script. So we can install the Terraform on any cloud. We can install the Terraform on any machine, whether it is Mac OS or Windows or Linux. I'll talk about that in the class. And also we have multiple provider as well. Not only the Google Cloud provider, we have multiple provider as well. So we'll go to the CLI and here if we'll try to use, not provider. There was one tutorial for Google Cloud. Yeah, this one. So here they have their own tutorial. Like some basic things are there. So here you can see how we can create, basically set up the Terraform, what is Terraform, and how we can install it, how we can initialize it for Google Cloud provider. So everything is already there, like how we can create the main.py file and all. So we can also search for the Terraform Google Cloud provider. I always recommend to check their official documentation. So here you can see they have their provider structure, and one which let's say any resource we want to create, whether it is BigQuery or any other resources. Okay, let's say I want to
Mhm.
create BigQuery table. Can go to Terraform a BigQuery table, and I can see the how we can define the config in order to create the BigQuery table. So here it's going to create the on this data set, it's going to create the BigQuery table on this location. What is the default expiration period? So those things we can define. And then also we can define the partitioning of the BigQuery. We can define the schema of the BigQuery. So all these things we can also define on while creating the Terraform, right?
Yeah.
So this is the official Google Cloud provide documentation
Mm.
we can refer anytime, like whenever we are writing the Terraform, developing the Terraform script. So once the initialization is done and the log file is created, so this is the log file which will be having the Terraform state. And we can go to next thing is we can run the Terraform plant command. So Terraform plant command will just show us that how many resources it's going to create. Okay, so here it's already showing like it's going to add two resources. There will be no change. Even there, if there is any existing resources, we can also change the state of a resource as well. So here it's going to create two resources, and we are not deleting or removing any resources. So what all two resources it's going to create, we can see like it's going to create this instance, cloud instance will be created, and based on whatever configuration we have defined. So there are certain things we have not used. For example, what is the master instance name or IP address name, or in private or public IP address, because whenever we are working in production project, we are not going to use the public IP address. By default, it will use the public IP, but we need to specify the private VPC, which will be provided to you by your networking team. What is the VPC you need to use on your cloud instance? Okay. So similarly, what is the service account, email address we want to use? So all those settings we can define. Along with that, also there are certain configuration like disk size and replication type. So those things also we can define. After creating the instance, the second resource which is going to create is the my user account or user credential it's going to add to this instance. So these are the two things which it's going to create. Okay. So you can see it's showing like if you want to apply this, you go ahead and run the Terraform apply command. So if I run the Terraform apply, it is going to create the two resources. One is the Terraform cloud instance, sorry, cloud is SQL instance, and the user it will add to that cloud SQL. So we can go to the Terraform, sorry, we can go to the SQL window, and if I'll go to cloud SQL, I can see it has started creating the cloud SQL instance. It takes some time to create the cloud SQL instance, around
Mhm.
2 to 3 minutes it will take. Once the instance is created, inside that instance also we'll be able to see that the user uh, credentials has been updated inside this instance. Okay. So
Yeah.
similarly, if we want to delete the instance, we can run the Terraform destroy command. And there are also
Mm.
other commands also, which we are going to discuss, and how we can define the variable. Like here, what we have done lots of hard coding as well. So instead of that, we
Yeah.
can have a variables.tf file. The TF is the extension for Terraform, and in that variable file, we can define all these variables, and from that variable file, we can import this instead of hard coding it inside the Terraform. So that also can be done. So we are going to like see how we can add, how we can use those variables files, how we can use the proprietors files how we can modify the config, to create the resources. Those things will be where we can discuss in the class. So if you have any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, that's fine. So everything, all the concepts like with the same, right? So you're like trying to create the resources in GCP using Terraform. So like how using Terraform resource, like how we are creating the services in the GCP, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, so the current requirement, like you might aware of the one of the GCP service, key management service, right? Google Key Management Service.
Yeah.
So for yeah, that is a requirement for me. So for that, we have the Kubernetes cluster. Okay,
Mm,
inside that we are trying to create the key and key rings using KMS with a Terraform.
mm, mm.
Yeah, using modules and everything. Yeah, that is the exact requirement I'm looking. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, it's good actually.
Yeah. So basically, the key ring you need to create, if you are not using Google Managed Encryption, which is the default encryption technique, if you are using
Mm-hmm.
customer managed, so then there you need to have the key ring. Let's say you are creating any cluster in Kubernetes cluster. While
Mm.
creating the Kubernetes cluster, we need to specify how you can encrypt those clusters. Whether you are
Mm.
going to encrypt the cluster using the default encryption technique, which is the Google Managed Encryption technique. The
No, we
second
are
one
going
is
with the
the,
custom
yeah,
CMake.
yes, CMAK. That is the customer managed encryption technique. And for that, you need to create the key ring as well.
Yeah, key ring we are creating for after that keys based on the specific resource. Yeah, that's where we are in implementation phase for that.
Yeah.
And the production level and everything, HSM for the KMS.
Yeah.
Mm.
Here you can see like how to create the,
Mm.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's fine. I'm good with the demo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like in order to complete, like what is the total course duration?
So we are planning to complete between 20 to 25 hours. And
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so basically the if, classes will be on every weekdays,
Mm-hmm.
maybe during this hour, like during the evening time, we'll have the class.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because morning time we have another batch, so we'll have the class
Okay.
during the evening time, maybe 8 to 9. Will be the class timing, 8 p.m. to 8 to 9 p.m.
Oh,
or
ho, ho, ho.
9 to 10.
Okay.
That will
Uh-huh,
say.
uh-huh. Okay, okay. 9 to 10 is there, no? Okay, okay. Because yeah, the timings are like for like it's a 5.5 hours difference. Okay. Okay. Let me see about the timings. Yeah. Apart from that, I'm good actually. Yeah. I'll update you to Ganesh. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ganesh. I'll
Any,
call you back.
any
Yeah.
other question for him?
That's fine, Ganesh. I'm good. Yeah. I'll give you the update. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
And
arranging. No, thanks both. Take care. Bye.
yeah, bye.